Hi, gang. Hey, everybody. Hello, hello, and welcome to Midtown Manhattan. Actually, I'm going to show you something on 10th Avenue. The poll question today, the Saturday poll question, should the LA Dodgers have denied property access to immigration officials doing their jobs? Thank you, Parks Casino. More on that in a moment. But check this out. There's a crane behind me. There it is. That crane is like half a block long. And can you see the movement? Check it out. It's slowly being raised on 10th Avenue. And if I shift in the far distance, it's almost like that crane is a pointer. You can see the Statue of Liberty. Do you see the crane moving? It is enormous. Look at that. Here it comes. Here it comes. I mean, this is the most, I know I showed it to you last Saturday, but we were all kind of fogged in. Today, it's just spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. Here it comes. I wonder what they're doing. I wonder how high they're going. Well, okay. Anyway, little excitement, right? A little excitement. Thank you to my friends at Parks Casino. Summertime is here. The beach, the boat, the lake, the boardwalk. You can enjoy all the casino action and sports betting wherever you are this summer with the Bet Parks app and the Play Gun Lake app. Tomorrow night, Pro Hoops, Game 7 in Oklahoma City. I got to say, where the Oklahoma team has never enjoyed the spoils of this championship, I'm all for them. I am all for them. And Indiana knocked off New York, so I've got all the more reason. I would love to have seen New York do it. Beyond the Pro Hoops, World Soccer all this weekend, the Pro Golf Tour, Baseball 2, live betting is better on the BetParks app and the Play Gun Lake app. You can bet individual player performances, and whether your team wins or not, there's always another way for you to be in on the action and enjoying the spoils of victory. The only apps that I ever use and recommend to bet on sports and play all my favorite casino games in the palm of my hand. Check out the brand new games like Huff and More Puff, Fireblaze Sky Queen. That's a BetParks exclusive. BetParks Blackjack, Baccarat, all the fun stuff. You've got to be 21 and in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, or Maryland for the BetParks app, and you've got to be 21 and in Michigan for the Play Gun Lake app. You love to play, you play to win, you bet. BetParks and Play Gun Lake. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Quick question for my friends on YouTube. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm curious, how many are aware of the controversy involving immigration officials and the Los Angeles Dodgers? Thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm kind of curious as to whether you've heard anything about Falcon Steph and Reds and Kate Kelly and Jamal and Mary. Joseph, no, you haven't. Marge has. Robert has. Okay. Alan, you haven't. Most have. So this is the focus of the poll question today. And the reason that I'm taking your temperature on your level of knowledge of it is I'm wondering for CNN how much I need to explain it every time I reference the poll question of the day. Here's what I'm asking. And by the way, the short version of this, is that ICE says it wasn't us, and DHS says it was CBP, and CBP says we weren't involved in an operation there. I mean, I will give you the very short version, and then I'm going to tell you how I'll set it up on television. The very short version is it seems that CBP, maybe having just carried out yet another enforcement action at a Home Depot in Hollywood, was seeking to use the expanse of Dodger Stadium's parking lot just to set up their vehicles. And when I first heard the story, I thought, wow, it seemed like ICE, because that's the way it was being reported. It seemed like ICE was carrying out an enforcement action at Dodger Stadium. I had this vision in my head of them going after the grounds crew, and wanting to know where are people's papers in the grounds crew. It wasn't ICE. ICE said it wasn't us. DHS said it was CBP, and CBP said that wasn't the purpose of our being at Dodger Stadium. But Dodger Stadium, private property, they get to a security checkpoint, and they weren't given access. And the first thing that came into my head when I saw that is that I remember Dodger Stadium being a staging ground. In fact, I think it was Sean Penn's charity. I'm 98% sure that it was Sean Penn's charity that was using the parking lot of Dodger Stadium for COVID vaccination. Okay, and then I said to myself, what if the fire department, in needing to fight those recent fires in SoCal, what if the fire department went to the Dodgers and said, can we please use your expansive parking lot as a staging area for firefighters? I'm sure the Dodgers would have said, of course. How about if police said, in response to some civil unrest, we need to use Dodger Stadium? I don't know. I think Dodger Stadium would say, okay, you can do it. But this becomes very complex for the Dodgers, for not the least of which reason is that an enormous part of their fan base, some of their player personnel, their employees, and people who actually come out and watch the games are of the affected community. And consequently, there's been a lot of pressure brought to bear on the Dodgers. My understanding is that the reason that protesters were on the scene is because they were already there protesting against the Dodgers because the Dodgers hadn't issued a public statement about the immigration crackdown. And now here come the CBP vehicles, a lot of acronyms here to keep track of, and the protesters seized that moment. And remember as well that there was controversy very recently when a social media influencer sang the national anthem in Spanish at Dodger Stadium, and that became an issue. So here's the way that I intend to set this up on CNN today. A flashpoint in Los Angeles where immigration raids, federal agents, protests have landed quite literally on the doorstep of one of America's most iconic sport franchises. Thursday, as the Dodgers hosted the San Diego Padres, a few dozen protesters, already mobilized to pressure the team to take a stand, gathered outside the stadium, chanting "ICE out of LA" and demanding answers. After federal vehicles were spotted on or near the stadium's parking lot, some community activists tell CNN they followed immigration enforcement agents from a Home Depot in Hollywood, where 2 detentions were witnessed earlier that day, directly to Dodger Stadium. Now, the official story depends on who you ask. The Dodgers tweeted, federal agents asked to access the parking lot, and they said no. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, posted on X that the Dodgers claim is totally false, writing, "We were never there." And a DHS official insists the presence of CBP vehicles was brief, blaming a car malfunction and denying any enforcement activity connected to the team or the game. But many fans, especially from LA's Latino community, aren't convinced. They're frustrated the team has said little, even as immigration crackdowns spread, with the White House calling for 3,000 arrests a day and National Guard troops deployed to LA over the governor's objections. The Dodgers are expected to release a plan to support immigrants impacted by the raids, but so far, no statement has come. All of this is inspiring today's poll question at Smerconish.com. Should the LA Dodgers have denied property access to immigration officials doing their jobs? And again, if it were firefighters, sure. If it were the cops, I think so. I don't know. But because it's ICE, it puts the Dodgers in a very precarious position. You never know. You never know what the ripple effects might be of controversies like this. So that's the reason that I'm asking today's poll question as such. It's private property. They can do what they want, but it's really a political hot potato. Here's the most iconic. Well, okay, the Yankees would disagree, and I guess the Phillies would as well. But one of the most iconic sport franchises on the planet, The Lakers having just sold for $10 billion. How can that make sense? Remember the segment that we did this week about the escalating cost of being a fan, going to events, getting the packages on TV? All I could think of when I saw the price tag for the Lakers going to $10 billion was it's going to go even higher. So I think this is a great poll question today, and I'll be very eager to see how people weigh in and vote on the question of whether they should be given access. How about one more, if I may? What if it were CBP, not in an immigration context, but in the aftermath of September 11? What if it were CBP in the aftermath of September 11 and the Dodgers said, because they were there for whatever reason, looking for Al-Qaeda, and the Dodgers said no? There would have been a hue and cry, right? People would have been pissed. But in this, it just shows the precarious nature of the politics, even though a slight majority continue to be supportive of President Trump's immigration crackdown. One more thing, if I may. Please tune in at 9 a.m. for the CNN program. I'm very proud of the commentary that I'm about to deliver. And having workshopped it on radio yesterday, I'm feeling even more emboldened to say, with what's in the public domain, it would be a mistake for the United States to bomb Fordo, that nuclear enrichment facility. And I have a great guest on the program today going to talk about the mechanics of how you actually pull that off. Pilots leaving presumably from Missouri and going all the way to Iran to drop that one bomb with precision. Okay, have a great day. Go vote on today's poll question, like and subscribe, and set yourself up for notifications. See you, gang. One more look. Let's see where the crane is. Is it still moving? I can't tell if it's moving. That is a big crane. That is a big crane. There's a good look right down 10th Avenue. I can see the Statue of Liberty in the background. I don't know if you can, but she's out there. She's out there. Hard for me to believe, by the way, that my grandmother, relatively late in the early 20th century, with my Aunt Bess, who is today 98 or 99, with my Aunt Bess in her arms, came through Ellis Island there. 98 or 99 years ago, because my Aunt Bess was an infant. All right, see ya.